Hello ladies and gents, welcome to UX and this is US fastest hypersonic jet reaching the speed of light is ready to fly by channel Wild Iron. This is about Hermes. As far as I know, Hermes is a private sector company with multiple rich backers who just came out and yeah, we're making hypersonic. And I've seen headlines even from Sandbox recently about it. Where yeah, they're reaching success. What is this, a startup? How does that work? How do you just come to military industrial complex and just making hypersonic jets and things? Most countries and their brightest minds can't do it. And a private company just comes out in USA. All right, it's gonna be awesome. Let's do this one.
American aviation has always been a field for bold experiments and radical ideas. But when it comes to hypersonic speed, courage alone is not enough. A true revolution is needed. This is where the Hermes team comes to the rescue with their hypersonic quarter horse preparing.
Hermes is like Greek god, right? Is that what it means? Hermes, I don't know what that is.
To usher in a new era of flight, where distances are compressed to a minimum and speed becomes the measure of success.
Look at that.
Rockets with high-speed engines and U.S. spacecraft have long reached hypersonic performance, and only hypersonic flight in the atmosphere on a passenger airliner still remains an unconquered horizon for aviation. Some of you here will rightly remember the Concorde, but firstly, this legendary aircraft.
By the way, Concorde was insane. There was a European counterpart as well. There's a reason why Concorde failed. Now this is why Concorde failed or stopped. That's why Concorde failed. That even car sirens are going off.
Reached a top speed of 1,354 miles an hour, which is impressive, but to put it mildly, falls short of hypersonic speed with its threshold of Mach 5 or 3,836 miles per hour. And secondly, the last Concorde flight occurred more than 20 years ago, in November of 2003, when on the way to the Museum of Flight, the G-BOAG aircraft set a flight speed record from New York to Seattle of 3 hours 55 minutes and 12 seconds. Moreover, due to restrictions on supersonic flights in the United States, Canadian authorities even had to allow most of the G-BOAG journey to fly at.
Concorde should have stayed for long flights. Let's say you want to go from India to US or something, or US to Japan or something. Very long distances. So very, very few international airports using Concorde and only for the longest flight. Concorde would have been awesome for that. I mean, yeah, there's an issue of loud voices, but it's only for specific flights. And maybe from the airport, which is far away from houses and things, maybe near Ocean or something. You could have done something like that.
Supersonic speed over sparsely populated Canadian territory. As you know, a sacred place is never empty, so right now, startup company Hermes intends to not only compensate for the loss of Concorde, but also surpass it in every sense, offering passengers a flight from New York to London in just 90 minutes. Concorde was able to cover this route in only 2 hours 52 minutes and 59 seconds, which is also cool, but no longer reaches the ambitions of the team of AJ Piplica, CEO of Hermes, who managed to bring talented engineers from SpaceX and Blue Origin under his wing. These individuals were united not only by a love of
SpaceX, great. Blue Origin, I don't know. Last time Blue Origin did anything, it was a massive fireball. Largest of them all.
Innovation, but also by the desire to bring new space to aviation, which in the case of space meant providing cheap access to travel to orbit for millions of people around the world. In aviation, they first have to fly you across the Atlantic in 1.5 hours. Thus began work on the Quarter Horse, an unmanned hypersonic prototype whose initial task was no less than to break the record of the legendary Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird reconnaissance aircraft. To achieve such immodest results, an impressive engine would be required, many times more powerful than the Pratt & Whitney J58 installed in that very Blackbird, capable of instantly overtaking any enemy missile of that time at a speed of more than Mach 3.
I mean, Pratt and Whitney usually makes great engines, but only for their fast, small jets. For big ones, like you probably, like General Dynamics, right? General Dynamics, or there's Rolls-Royce. Companies like that usually thrives in like big ones, right? Boeing's, for a lot of Boeing planes, and the other one, Airbus, they make the B-52 like is getting like a Rolls-Royce engine for this specific reason. So something like that, not Pratt and Whitney. Pratt and Whitney is mostly dominant at small planes like jet F-22s and things like that.
But here too, the Hermeus team decided not to take the easy way out, developing its own engine, Chimera, which without a doubt was not only a reference to the fire-breathing monster of the same name from Greek mythology, but also an extremely apt name for a hybrid engine. Chimera is a turbine-based combined cycle (TBCC) engine. That is, it takes the best from a gas turbine engine, turbine jet, turbojet, and a ramjet, scramjet engine and mixes them together. The point is that turbojet, ramjet, and scramjet are three forms of jet propulsion, but with a number of fundamental differences.
This scramjet already kind of has ramjet in it. I think it's just like it's different, so it has like higher speed. Scramjet is how you go hypersonic, right? How are they gonna lower the voice? So the problem isn't like can they do it? It's how are they gonna keep the noise down? Concorde was loud. How is this is gonna be insanely loud? How are they gonna do that? That's the question.
Turbojets launch from a standstill at speeds greater than Mach 2, but are not capable of maintaining a hypersonic speed of Mach 5 or higher. Ramjets, scramjets, on the other hand, handle great at Mach 5, but are extremely unstable at low speeds. Therefore, you need to combine them so that the strengths of each compensate for their shortcomings. Hermeus used readily available off-the-shelf gas turbine engines for testing, saving billions of dollars in development costs and years off its already busy schedule. They were able to build and successfully test their own engine for just $18 million over a period of only 21 months. In November of 2022, they demonstrated the transition from a turbojet to a ramjet engine, which became one of the startup's main technological achievements on the way to reusable hypersonic carriers.
What is happening? Who are these people? Start up their own engine? Screw it. Like, what do all these engine makers know? Like Rolls-Royce, all those like General Dynamics. What do they know? How is a new company just coming out? We make our own engines. We do our own, like testing everything, aerodynamics. We're going to build our own planes. Everything's going to be in-house. And we're going to do it. We're going to be successful. Who are these people? I get it, like they got a lot of people for SpaceX and all that, but still, it's insane to me a new company can just do that.
The conventional turbine part of the TBCC Hermeus was represented by the General Electric J85 turbojet engine, an extremely popular solution found in the Cessna A37 Dragonfly, Northrop F5, Northrop T-38 Talon trainers, and many other aircraft. According to open sources, these engines have already flown more than 16.5 million hours, and the U.S. Air Force intends to use them until 2040. But what if you need even greater results? Continuing experiments on Chimera as the basis for the second version, Chimera 2, Hermeus chose the Pratt & Whitney F-100 turbojet engine used in the American McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle and General Dynamics F-16 Fighting Falcon fighters. Moreover, these ones flew a total of not 16.5 million, but more than 30 million hours as part of the Air Force services within dozens of different nation states. Consistent with their fundamentals, Hermeus has developed and manufactured
F-15, F-16 is probably the most used jet on the planet. A lot of countries have it, and it's been there for a long time.
In-house, the other engine components, including the inlet, pre-cooler, ram burner, and bypass system. All of them will be scaled for subsequent integration into the improved Chimera 2, which will be installed in Dark Horse. But wait, what's Dark Horse? This is a question many of you might have at this point in the video. The fact is that Hermeus intends to create not one, but 3 aircraft at once. In addition to the quarter horse,
What the hell does U.S. military knows? You want to make F-47, it will take 10 years. Well, they're here like, yeah, we're gonna make three. We're gonna make three. What? If they do this, I'm gonna assume every single US military industrial complex, which has all of them, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, they're just gluttonous at this point. Just sitting in luxury, deliberately lengthening their projects rather than, making it faster, because they know they're the only one that can do it. It's basically how Intel was. Intel was laid back. There was no competition until AMD came and whipped their ass. Now Intel is scrambling to compete with AMD now. If they do it, that's what's happening with US. All the companies, all the major companies, because they never had any competition until a startup comes and kick their ass.
Course, we'll also see a multi-mission hypersonic UAV for defense and national security missions, and the Halcyon, a passenger aircraft capable of covering over 125 transoceanic routes at speeds 5 times faster than any current commercial aircraft.
All the names, man.
But for now, we'll stay focused on the quarter horse. The Hermes team began 2024 with the completion of tests of its quarter horse Mk0 ground stand used to test various systems and their integration into the vehicle. Along with this news, a short roadmap was published consisting of 4 versions: Mk0, Mk1, Mk2, and Mk3. Testing of the Mk0 was successfully completed at the Air Force's Arnold Engineering Development Complex, AEDC, in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and benchmarks reached included demonstrating remote command and control taxiing, evaluating radio frequency, RF latency, and ground handling qualities of the integral systems, demonstrating proper state of the vehicle and flight deck during lost link, demonstrating human factor evaluations and pilot-in-the-loop steering and controls. The company said it designed and built the Mk0 in just 6 months, achieving its test targets in 37 days, which is nothing short of impressive, especially considering the fact that by March of this year, Hermes had already presented the next stage, the quarter horse Mk1, which will take to the air at the end of 2024 from the legendary Edwards Air Force Base. The engineers prepared this plane in 7 months, setting for themselves a new crazy standard for the pace of iterations, 1 plane per year.
That is what I'm saying. Look at their speed. What are the... I'm sure Lockheed and all that call, what are you doing? Slow down. You're making us all look bad.
The main purpose of this remotely piloted vehicle is to demonstrate high-speed takeoff and landing, a key enabling capability unique to future hypersonic aircraft of the company's roadmap. However, if the Mk0 and Mk1 feature Chimera engines based on the General Electric J85, then in the quarter horse Mk2, we'll finally see the Chimera 2 with its core in the form of the Pratt & Whitney F100, plans for which Hermes representatives were more than happy to share with the public. In May of 2024, Hermes began testing its proprietary cooling technology with the F100 engine, marking the first major milestone in the development of the Mk2 engine. Thanks to the combined engine with this pre-cooler, the 3rd iteration of the quarter horse will be able to reach speeds of up to Mach 2.5. The goal of the roadmap at this stage is to break the sound barrier and demonstrate autonomous supersonic flight below Mach 3. Well, the decisive step will be the Mk3 version, in which Hermes will be able to demonstrate turbojet to ramjet mode transition in flight and break the all-time airspeed record held by the SR-71 Blackbird. In general, the path to the future of hypersonic travel today lies through overcoming the quarter horse Mk3 threshold at Mach 4. So far, Hermes has yet to set a date, but is watching the pace of production closely along with the team's follow-through, so the word soon isn't as vague as it could be. Moreover, it's not for nothing that NASA, the U.S. Air Force, and even the father of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, believed in the startup, providing it with substantial funding worth hundreds...
Exactly. They all have funding in it. Even ChatGPT is yeah, I'll do it. Wait a minute, Sam Altman has a money issue. Where did he find the money? He was asking NVIDIA, give us money, give us funding. What happened?
...of millions of dollars. Do you think Hermes will be able to live up to the expectations and break the SR-71 record in 2025? Let us know in the comments below.
There was a recent news somewhere about Hermes achieving things. So yeah, I guess they're going through, they're spearheading through, this shit is working type of way. I'm a bit cynical. They might hit hurdles, let's just say. But a lot of NASA, SpaceX, and all these engineers are kinda involved. They're using F-100 engine and basing from there, so it's not like they're starting completely from scratch. Maybe it's achievable. I don't know. Then again, if startup company can do it, I'm guessing Skunk Works already has hypersonic jet. If this can do it, Lockheed, Skunk Works, they're insane people. So this just makes me think like they probably has something already working, and they just don't want to tell people. But man, this is insane, man. If they do it, next Concorde could happen. Because, all of them are like kind of working how to like reduce or eliminate the shock waves, which is the problem. Concorde wouldn't have failed if the sound wasn't an issue. So yeah. Alright, well, there you go. US fastest hypersonic jet, reaching the speed, not speed of light, but you understand the point. It's really fast. It's hypersonic. It's probably going to happen. This is my channel, Wild Iron. If you like my reaction, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.